Morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, the last Monday of 2025. At least I think it is. I mean, unless we invent another Monday. I hope not, because I can only take one a week. I've got to tell you, 2025 was a year. And the end of it has not been the best, at least most of October. And quite possibly all of November for me, at least from Veterans Day on, was a little rough. But I have to tell you, I'm on the other side of it. I'm on the mend in a way that is extraordinary, and I feel pretty good. So I want to say thank you to all of you. You are a large part of my healing because I get a chance to vent at you each and every day. So God bless you for being here, each and every one of you. We've got so much to talk about. There are 17 stories plus to talk about. And I'm looking at a lot of different things that I think I can speak freely on. We will be having a return of the H-Cast, your favorite afternoon evening podcast on Mr. H Reviews channel. And with the replays being over on the Live Archive channel. So there's that. We've got our friend Putin's Cat out there. Good to see you, friend. Amongst many other things. Let's see, what else is out there? Well, we've got Georgia Peach out there. We've got Ms. Pick Cafe. We've got all of the great wrenches here, including Jill. And many, many more. It's Juliet out there. And of course, the first Dragon Queen is very generous again this morning, saying, can I use my power tools to cut Avatar's cord? Well, yeah, you probably can. I think it's cutting its own cord. And I think James Cameron knew he was on the wrong side of this particular film. How are you going to get a company to spend over $400 million on making your movie when there's a chance it doesn't make any of that money back? This one's close. So I dropped the video the way I did and why I was calling out the fact that people were calling me on it, which again, I didn't say it wasn't going to make money. It's at $700+ million now. But the question being, is it going to make 1.2 billion, which would put it at the payoff, which that's only if they're telling us the truth about a $400 million budget in total spend. I don't believe that's the truth. Disney never tells us the truth. And if we find out that the majority of the film was filmed in the UK, we'll know better here shortly. But we've got great folks in the audience like our friend Crimlon out there. And of course, Matt G, who is hanging out with us under Crouching Taylor Hidden Swift. Good to see you, my friend. Georgia Peach is saying greetings to everybody. It's good to see you, dear. Hope everything's going fine in your neck of the woods. And everybody's staying warm. Including Brandon. Brandon, are you staying warm? I think everybody needs to stay warm. It's a lovely winter day, and we are going to be headed into spring soon enough, so you should be conditioning your soil, getting it ready for this year's harvest. One of the things we often skip out on is the mineral content of soil, which actually gives fruits and vegetables the staying power that we often don't see at the grocery store. So stone dust, like azomite and similar, are good to have on hand. I want to say thank you to Fat Elvis for smashing that thumb. Have you smashed that thumb? Putin's Cat, this is live. It's not Memorex. And Brian the Mac is in the house for 6 minutes starting right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in. I want to say thank you to Ruby Hoove for gifting a CultureCasino membership as we get going. We've got our good friend Daniel out there asking me the honest outlook for Hollywood in 2026. Well, I think it's better than some people think it's going to be. So we'll get to it and we'll talk about it at the end of the stream during bonus time. So I'll get to your question and thank you for your generosity. I want to say good morning to Libby Priest and to Carl, who happens to be out there as well. But let's start with the first story, the streaming report card. It seems like streaming actually turned a point of no return. At least they turned a direction towards profitability. The question is, how long will they stay here and how long will they stay in business? Disney Plus finally turned the corner on profitability, but only because they brought in Hulu. We talked about that before, but HBO Max, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Netflix has been profitable for a few years now, but not without a giant economic spend. Look, this article is a good read if you have time on Deadline, and I'll just tell you, The major players are going to have to spend major bucks in order to keep people interested. You can't just continue to raise your prices and expect people to stay, especially after Netflix's recent performance, which we'll get to in a minute. But box office Avatar 3 is adding 88 million over the Christmas weekend. Marty Supreme did amazing for A24 with the second biggest debut at 27 million, proving Timothée Chalamet is a star. Well, I don't know about that, but at least he led this movie successfully. Fire and Ash specifically is up over 760 million global, and the franchise is across $6 billion. You have Zootopia 2 with $1 billion overseas, and that's basically, what drove that entire film, mostly China. Same thing for Wicked 2, which seems to be coming to an abrupt end, and Anaconda did better than I expected it to. We've got James Cameron holding a press conference to reveal Avatar 4 and 5 storylines if Fire and Ash underperforms and ends the franchise early. That's quite the possibility. He's been hinting at it for a while. I think he's bored, and so is the audience, so let's be fair. Tyler Perry's under investigation and being hit with another lawsuit, this one because of an SA allegation on Christmas Day for $77 million. Now, it's not just him. It's Lionsgate on the bench for this, too. The lawyer on Tyler's side is saying this is another failed money grab. We'll see. Kate Winslet says her first experience with intimacy was with women. And then she kissed a few girls and then kissed a few boys. She started off with 2 girls, though, and talks about those details in this article. We've got student loan borrowers potentially being hit with wage garnishments in 2026 to collect their funds, what they're overdue, what they borrowed from you and me and are not wanting to pay back. We've got the moon and the sun figuring big into New Year's lineup of cosmic wonders, and we'll be seeing lots of events throughout the year, no sooner than even New Year's Day. So keep your eyes towards the heavens, especially in the evenings. California drops lawsuit seeking to reinstate the federal funding for the bullet train, which they haven't produced and wasted billions of dollars on. Sounds like Minnesota, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Your holiday gift returns might go to a landfill, but let me tell you, record return shrinkage is amazing. There's very few returns and very few people taking things back. It as what do we call it? Thrifting had a rise in popularity once again. The Trump-Zelensky talks, which happened yesterday, were addressing security guarantees and reconstruction. I don't want to pay for this country at all anymore. I don't want $1 more of American money going over there. I think it's a travesty and a tragedy, and I think we're done getting fleeced by an EU puppet, which is all Zelensky is. In fact, pretty tired of the EU and the WEF, and I think most of America and Europe is also tired. I can't be the only one. We've got Iranian leaders and shopkeepers protesting the currency hitting a record low once again. This is a normal event, seems like monthly, but that didn't stop Iran from piggybacking 3 satellites on Russian rockets into space. I'm sure they're trying to develop some kind of intelligence or gathering system. I don't know, but it can't be anything good, at least not for us in the U.S., and Russia's helping them out. I'd like peace to happen, and I would like it to happen now. Not sure about you. We've got the failure of Stranger Things being out there in the New York Post, but what's worse is they didn't give Nerdrotic credit for the quote they used for the headline. As I scroll to the top, let's take a look at what they did say in the headline. Stranger Things gets review bombed. That's bologna sausage. Fans bash woke and cringy penultimate episode as comically bad. That is a direct quote of Nerdrotic. So screw you guys for not crediting Gary. We've got KTLA reporting on that bear under the house. You remember the bear in Altadena? Well, the owner or homeowner is going to sue over the bear because it won't leave, and the state's doing a poor job of capturing it. Can't blame him. He's tired of 550 pounds of death underneath his patio every day, which shouldn't have happened in the first place. And finally, a bonus bear story. Officials issue a warning for because of a couple that was hospitalized in Tahoe with a bear that actually walked into their house. There's the bear coming out of a house in Tahoe. But look, you just need to be aware that bears are not quite all put to bed yet, as they should be. Again, 14,000 calories a day so that they can catch their nap. And sometimes when winter comes slower, well, bears don't exactly nap on time. So if you're in South Tahoe, be bear aware and watch out, because you'll get a bear in your garage that you probably didn't want. With all of that, I want to say thank you. There was a lot of bonus time there, and we're going to stick around for some more. I want to say you guys are great, and Putin's cat's going to vent back, I bet. We got a lot of great people out there this morning. Caveat Ties is joining us today. First Dragon Queen once again with the generosity. And I need to grab this super chat once again from Daniel. Daniel, my friend, I think I'm not as worried about the theatrical outcomes as even my friend WDW Pro may be. I think I've expressed that. I'm going to tell you that I don't believe that the outlook for 2026 is as bad as it's being portrayed. Now, what is surprising me is that the outlets like Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and Deadline are on the same doom train. They're all kind of talking about 2026. And my conversation is, well, yeah, Hollywood's being killed off, but it's being killed off by the people in Hollywood. It's not by any of the studios directly, although if Netflix were to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery, Hollywood would be killed off much faster, which is why I'm really rooting for Paramount to become the ultimate owner of another studio. At least they understand what needs to happen, which is the production of more and more material, which is what we've been lacking, which is why you can't find anything good to watch in theaters. I'm going to say that for a long time, the fault of the collapse of cinema has been on at the feet of Hollywood. And of course, the unions, who have been gathering for the wrong reasons, and instead of protecting the industry, have been protecting individuals and jobs and basically lifting up people in leadership when, well, that's basically what communists do, which is one of the reasons why I'm not always a big union fan. I will say this, though, Daniel. Clownfish TV thinks it's going to get much worse. I imagine that's probably where Neon is, and maybe Geeky Sparkles. And I don't blame them. I get it. But I have a more positive outlook, kind of like you. The domestic earnings for something like Avatar indicate that you can make a lot of money, even if there's no volume to it, if there's nothing of substance to it. If you make pretty things and you jingle the right keys, you'll get the same audience over and over again. You don't even have to tell a good story. And those are my words about Avatar, not anybody else's. I did not see the most recent film, so I'm not going to review it. I'm just going to say I don't have any interest in Fern Gully Story Part 4, 5, 6, whatever. And I also think that if you're going to do something like that, do it with purpose, and don't just make the white guys the bad guys, because that's boring, at least in my opinion. I want to say thank you once again, Daniel Alpine, for your support and your positive outlook, in addition to your super chat. And Archer Merchant joins in for a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Archer. It's good to see you this morning. Welcome to Monday. And Archer says Avatar domestically doesn't seem to be that strong. I think it really does send a strong message that the majority is international and slowing, and it is, which is why 760 million global was some of the responses that I got in both of the videos that I've now done on Avatar. And you know what? I don't blame the people that are calling that out, because it's true. It's not like the movie's a failure. I'm not saying it's a fail. I'm not. I'm not even saying it's a flop. But what I'm saying is the films are slowing in performance, and there's reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons for that. People don't seem to grasp the idea or the concept that people are interested in something with more substance, which is why I'm not even sure that, what do you call it? I'm not even sure that Doomsday is going to do all that well. In fact, I think in today's videos, this morning's video, we were talking about Doomsday. By the way, I have 3 more videos to edit today, possibly a 4th. So you're going to see more content from me this week than you've seen in a while. Number 1, I'm feeling good. Number 2, I got a bug up, and there was a lot of stories this weekend. For the 76 of you out there watching live, thank you. If you are watching on the replay, let me know down below in the comments. Say #ReplayGang and hit the thumbs up button. And by the way, if you're here live and you haven't hit the thumbs up button, why? please help. I would really appreciate it. For those of you on the green machine, be sure to comment as well. I want to say thank you to those of you who have been here a while and those of you that have been members for a while, like the lovely Ruby Hoove, which she gifted a Culture Casino membership to Cynthia Carter this morning already, celebrating 20 months of membership. She is amazing. So is her husband. These are great people, and I appreciate y'all. Hi, Culture and Culturians. Have a great one. I hope you have a great one as well, dear. I hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods, although it looks cold to me. There's a lot of blue spots in northern US right now, and I feel like, you know, if the closest I get to that is Tennessee, I'm going to be good because I'll get snow occasionally, maybe some ice here and there. But I'll also be able to grow things year round because you know what? The greenhouses are going to be plentiful on my property, along with production studios, which is the whole point of me moving to Tennessee in the first place. I'm going to apply for some grant money. Hopefully, somebody can help me do that and reach out to Mike or many other folks. And I'm going to place all of it in a trust so that it can be conveyed through generations so that there is production spaces for independence going forward and hopefully forever. We need independent cinema. We need independent creators, and we need more voices telling good stories, not bad. So those are all my goals. I have decided that, you know, I will celebrate and participate in my purpose, which again, you should look for. If you don't have one already, find your purpose. It's out there, or you may be told what your purpose is. We watched somebody else find their purpose this week, this Shirley kid. And I have to tell you, not only was that kid brave, that kid went to all the right spots in Minnesota to show the absolute fraud by one particular political party and one group of people who are here mostly illegally, including one of the leaders in Minnesota who may be expelled from Congress. So there's a lot going on right now. I hope you guys are paying attention. I will be paying attention on Tuesday and Thursday shows, probably after the Age Cast, where I actually basically spend my entire day on Tuesdays and Thursdays live streaming. Speaking of live streaming, coming up next, we've got That Park Place live in about 1 hour, which means I'm going to stick around for a while. It's so cold that CC has frozen again. Well, I can fix that, and I don't understand it. So one of the things that would cause me to freeze would be an interruption in connectivity. I don't have any such thing. As a matter of fact, I'm celebrating 100 megabits upstream currently, and there is zero reason for that. We're going to have to reboot, so I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to leave this chat up here so I know where I am. Thank you, Cat Slave. Let's go. Am I back? Yes, it looks like I'm back. Reconnected and everything. That's wonderful. Let's see if we switch to bonus story time. If we somehow improve things, doesn't look like it, but hey, I tried. There's a lot of stories to talk about out there. There really are. There's a lot of stuff going on out in the world. And again, I mean, I may be doing thank you for your attention to this matter more frequently than Tuesday and Thursday. But I know that I'll be doing the HCast starting January 6th, according to Mr. H. I need to put some spit and polish this coming weekend on the new intro for that show. And by the 6th, I will be, I'll be out of doctor's appointments, at least for a while. At least I hope for a while. We'll see. Everything seems to be getting better. I am wearing once again, a heart monitor for the next 5 days. And then that thing's coming off here on the 5th. Maybe sooner. I don't know. We'll see. It is the 29th, so maybe it's a couple extra days. I'm tired of wearing it, I'm sure. That other people who've had these understand why. They are itchy. And apparently I may be allergic to the adhesive that they used, not to mention the fact that they lazily shaved my chest to apply the monitor, which is silly. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm back, but it's just weird. Just play the stinger instead of rebooting next time. Stinger. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Did that work? Did that work? I don't know. Take care of your self culture. I am Ellie Bird, and you know what? I will keep it up. Thank you for being here, Al. I appreciate it. Barry the Music Man is out there saying, have a great day. I will. And our good friend Ron is back saying, follow the Bradley's fun. That was quick. Well, there you go. That's better, CC, says the fire chief. Good to see you, fire chief. And look at all these great people. Kelly Clarkson? What about Kelly Clarkson? According to Keep It Real Original, good to see you, dear. I hope you're doing better. And I'm not certain what the eyesight's doing there, but I hope it's better. Saying the voice app is really annoying. Find lady here saying hi. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're trying to do it via voice, and I appreciate it. I am going to say hi back. So yeah, voice to text is tough. So, but at least you're trying, dear. At least you're trying. Please take care of yourself and don't work too hard. I'm not actually. I recorded videos yesterday. It was really easy, straightforward. It's good to see you all out there. We got Read by Nature out there, that impromptu, half-bootied waxing you'll get when they tear it off. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not really thinking that's going to happen. Wait, Kelly Clarkson is looking good. She still has a chunky chin. I haven't even seen her, so I wouldn't know. But thank you for the update, Putin's cat. So, Toolbox says at least culture isn't tiny and chest hairless. No, I just have a patch that they half booty shaved an area of and made very itchy. So it's crazy. I want to say thank you to, and once again, to the very generous, the First Dragon Queen. You can check out her channel at the First Dragon Queen. And she's busy. Sounds like she's working on her floors, saying, I might not have a live stream this week. Reason in my last live stream. Yeah, she's working on her house. Maybe a video of Santa's new dragons and my new crown. Ooh, I want to see that. So I'll be tuning in regardless. It's good to see you, dear. Thank you for your sketches every day. It's nice to see. We got a lot of stuff going on out there in the world, folks, but nothing more important than, what people are doing investigatively. And again, like you said, it's people like Nick Shirley, who is really doing, yeoman's work and the work of what the media used to do regularly. I feel like we should be ashamed of what has happened to journalism in this country, and we should be shaming the major networks for allowing it to happen and to be so compromised. I don't know. We're in a weird place, and we've allowed our country to be overtaken by a bunch of people that don't have the best interests of the country in mind, nor the people they're supposed to represent in government. That is quite annoying indeed. Culture has a tuft, says Andy Masterson. I kind of do, although less of one right now. Just it's all kinds of itchy, guys. CC, from someone with a medical and a nutritional background, you probably need additional magnesium. Sure thing. Ask your doctor to check serum and RBC magnesium. The numbers looked pretty good. I had a full panel recently, and all my blood work came back ridiculous. In fact, if you look at my high cholesterol, it's incredibly low in comparison where people would be my age and my weight specifically. I've dropped several pounds. And it's amazing when you stop indulging in the occasional alcoholic beverage with supper, what that can do to your waistline. I'm going to tell you, carbohydrates are not your friend, and converting sugars does not a lot of good things for your body. Bad fat is a big problem, and it creates a higher insulin resistance, which doesn't allow you to burn fat. Not to mention the fact that, it's hard to get rid of that brown fat. So that's what I'm working on next, Bruce. So thank you for being out there. It's good to see you. And thank you for letting me know you had all those backgrounds. Let's see. We've got Dengar Renegade says, Sup CultureCasino. It is good to see you, Dengar. Hope you're doing well. Who else is out there in the woods? Jeff Elms is out there in the woods. Good to see you. We got a few others. Normal blood tests do not check magnesium, especially both levels. Well, that's maybe true. But the doctor I'm working with right now is kind of one of the Dr. House types. Not really, because there's no such position really that Dr. House had in the show. But this is one of those people who went through every reason, including the vascular flow of my kidney arteries and a whole lot of other things. I went through a bunch of tests I could not possibly have imagined, looking for clotting locations, aneurysm locations, things like that, and couldn't find anything. The internal sort of surgical process I went through, where they inserted a camera down my throat to look at my heart, didn't find anything, and fortunately didn't even find the pocket that could exist there that stores blood clots to throw all over your body. There's no evidence of, the clotting that they expect, and I'm on a bunch of drugs that I really shouldn't be on, just as preventatives at this point. So it's crazy. And Catslave is correct. Alcohol is merely fermented sugars. That's true. In fact, the fermentation is not necessarily bad. In fact, you create wonderful fermented teas for improving your garden, which we're going to talk a little bit about. My dinner last night was 2 bags of Cracker Jacks. That's not a good breakfast. Putin's cat, you're the one telling me to take it easy and take better care of myself and to reduce my blood pressure. And here you are eating carbohydrate garbage time. I just hope you stay healthy, brother. I need you here for a long time. Yeah, but no, there's a lot of good things out there that you can grow that'll improve your soil. In fact, one of the least talked about things that you can chop and drop as a fertilizer that goes along with maybe how you cover your plants as a crop cover is a plant called comfrey. Growing comfrey, you're going to get natural levels of NPK fertilization. And what's amazing about it is it also drops sets of minerals and things that your soil's not being replenished with if you're just using regular commercial fertilizers. In fact, you should be very concerned about that. And it's one of the reasons I'm going to start talking about, and this is why the Garden Channel will be starting in the new year. I've decided to give myself a realistic start time, is we're going to talk about stone powder, or what's known as azomite, and why you add that to your soil. You just lightly dust the stone dust over your existing soil set, water it in, because immediately you're going to recharge your soil and your plants in a way that you've never seen before. It's one of the things that's missing is all of these other elements, these minerals that actually improve soil health and human health. So there's that. Lots of great things out there. Weatherman says same people cannot take the lack of sun and rain. I love that. They'd rather have more sun and snow with the cold. Me too. And I'm kind of evolving into one of those people. I want water. And I want water on my property. I want streams. If I can get a stream on my property that I'm buying on my 20, 25, 30 acres, whatever it ends up being, if I can get running water, it's even better. So, and I probably pay more money actually for a running stream because it solves a lot of problems for me. And it actually creates a power generation situation that a lot of people don't take advantage of. Running water is a good thing. Last few days have been bad. I need to get back on the diet. You should. Yeah, I'm telling you what. Right now, I'm almost full Mediterranean. I want to go back to meatitarian, carnivore diet style. But we'll see. We'll see. Hey, got a super duper sticker. Thank you for that, Karen Prime. It's been a minute. I really hope you're doing well, Karen Prime. It's good to see you from across the pond with £3 sterling. That's proper money and a proper sticker. Thank you for that, dear. I hope you're doing well, genuinely. I really do. Commander Ed Straker Shadows out there says they didn't find anything. No heart. No, they found a heart. They just didn't find any issues. I don't have a lot of the typical problems. As far as I know, I don't even have a stenosis issue of any sort. Not in my kidneys, not in my regular vascular system, none of that. I've been really taking good care of my cholesterol levels for a long time, consuming foods that have the healthy cholesterol at a rate that really competes with allowing for the high density stuff to show up. So I eat a lot of avocado. I eat half an avocado for breakfast every morning on top of the balance of the Mediterranean breakfast. So pretty soon we'll be getting to actual natural wheat bread. So I'll be eating actual bread, not fake bread like we have here in the United States and we can't sell in any other country, but actual bread. It won't have any of the nutrients or any of the other stuff pulled out of it by bleaching processes and other stuff. So there's that. Member chat from Karen Prime. Karen Prime is amazing. I just want to say Karen Prime's been here forever. In fact, you can demonstrate it here. Almost 5 years a member. Thank you, Karen Prime. Amazing stuff. Happy holidays. Hope everyone is well. Kisses indeed. Thank you, Karen Prime. And thank you for being here so very long in support of the channel. It does not go missed by this guy, this CultureCasino fella. Plus, I still love your choice of pictures for your avatar. Amazing stuff. Amazing. We are blessed with the brilliance in our audience. That's no doubt. Yeah, we mill our own flour. I'm actually going to start doing that this year. One of the reasons the other greenhouse has to be finished by the end of spring is so I can actually plant a couple of proper raised beds, 36-inch raised beds, to just grow my own wheat. So I will be grinding my own wheat flour officially this year. That's the plan, which by growing what I intend to grow will allow me to make basically half a year's supply with my own material. That's a lot. Wheat berries are substantial and you produce far more than you believe you can, especially if you're looking either at a dwarf wheat or something that is not a full stem. But I'm not afraid of things to hit the roof of the greenhouse. It's just easier. So, yeah. Did you catch that? Did you catch the Brahma Mia? I may have overdone it. I have not, but I caught a bunch of your stuff. I'll go and check it out. Thank you, Putin's cat, for everything that you do. I don't know if anybody else says it, but I try to share what you've created with everybody. I repost it all the time. Tobak says, I've got an entire vat of little farters fermenting sugars in my closet right now. Well, there you go. One of the things that I've noticed is when you dive into various types of alcohol production, which I have, I have a family of vintners. In case I think I've mentioned that before, but two actually substantial winemakers that the vineyard names you probably would recognize, at least if you're a big wine drinker. Not only in Colorado, but in Arizona and California. But there's a lot in my family. I learned how to make mead. I also make a couple of different types and ferment a couple of different types of ice vine and actual port. I make a pomegranate port that is one of the best dessert wines you could possibly ever have. It's just amazing. But again, that's a lot of sugars. That's a lot of sugars. Yeah, wheat has been modified. I'm growing non-modified wheat. That's what I'm doing. Staying far away. Morgan King is out there, who's been not as prevalent as normal. It's great to see you, Morgan. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute, my Canadian friend. And yeah, pretty excited. Oh, absolutely. No, I love sharing what you're producing, Putin's cat. But yeah, I don't have anything to criticize. Otherwise, I would. I mean, you know, I'm not afraid to criticize things. In fact, that's sometimes get me into trouble. Cat Slave is asking about dwarf wheat. Dwarf wheat is why is why we didn't have starvation starting in the 60s. Remember the population bomb and all the lies they told around that? Well, one of the reasons was because they were going to have famines. So one of the problems they had is in the territories where they needed the wheat, it would grow too tall, fold over in the plains, and basically they would lose production. So one of the ways to save that and to produce a harvest faster was with a type of wheat called dwarf wheat. And I can't remember the name. I think I want to say it was Norman. I want to say Borlaug, but that's probably wrong. Um, Won the Nobel Prize for his dwarf wheat discovery, and one of the things that saved the quote unquote famine that was supposed to happen in the 60s with the population bomb. So there's that. I don't really want anything that's been modified, but there's that. The only problem with dwarf wheat, this is somebody that knows. With dwarf wheat is the time it takes to shave them before you can harvest them. Yeah, and that's just again a processes. So I've seen people build like shaker tables and stuff like that to harvest wheat berries faster. That's likely the direction that I would go. Building a vibrating chaff table, stuff like that. So, yeah, like you said, I'm doing a lot of research. So, but the joke, of course, is being to shave them, whereas really you're just, the process for harvesting wheat berries is the same. Doesn't matter what kind of wheat. So, one of my favorite cheeses is Port Salut, but I haven't been able to find it in years and years. Well, cheeses are easy to do as well if you have the little enzyme, which I actually have some in the refrigerator right now. I love making farm cheese, which a lot of people call Mexican farm cheese. It's delicious, and you make it yourself, and it doesn't take very long, and you can basically create your own mold shape if you want to. If you're good with a 3D printer, you can actually market your own cheeses, which is something that occurred to me. Being a cultured quote unquote channel, I've actually considered that because cheese making is something I enjoy. It's easy. The problem is preservation, especially since you're using whole and preferably unpasteurized milk. You really have to rely on solid packaging, wrapping your cheese to preserve it. Or, as in the old days, they sealed it with wax. I don't really want to go through all that. I don't think that's fun. But hey, it's one of the fun processes that I experimented with. And once you know how to do something, you just put it in your list of I can do this. And then you move on, because the accumulation of that information makes it so that in the future, if I run into a sticky point in life, but I have access to milk and I have a little bit of the enzyme in the refrigerator, I can make cheese and more enzyme. So it's kind of like having a sourdough bread starter. You want to have your starter already ready to go in the freezer so you can pull it out and start some sourdough. So just that kind of a conversation. Why not just eat wheat? Well, most of the wheat isn't really what it used to be. It's incredibly unhealthy, and most of the nutrition, if not all of the substantial nutrition, is gone. So a good wheat bread, very important. Never heard of dwarf wheat. I learned so much from culture. Well, I just happen to know. And I do believe the name of the Pulitzer and Nobel Prize winner was Norman Borlaug, but I could be wrong. Culture Casino, I am on Christmas break and have been sleeping in. Good for you, my friend. I just hope you take good care of yourself. You know, I worry about all my Canadian friends. You guys have a rough go up there. Your cost of living has doubled over the last 6 years, which is stupid. Insane. For most of you, not all of you. Gimli wheat. That's what we should call it. Remarket it. Gimli wheat. There you go. It is what it is. Cultured Casino will be live on Brahma's Bull's Milk now. Nah, not really. By the way, that's not really milk, guys. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this actually avoids wheat intolerance. It Again, the things that bother me the most about what's been done with corporate food, big ag, whatever you want to call them. Consider that most of the big ag companies are owned by the former tobacco companies. That's what a lot of people don't realize. And big ag is all about factory processing styles of production. And they'll do any and everything to make it cheaper and faster. It's why you are running into a lot of ice creams that aren't ice creams. They're full of emulsifiers and other things. In fact, if you do research into them, there's very few actual quote unquote ice creams left. They're like ice cream ish, but they're not ice cream. So yeah, I don't recommend you eat weed. Yeah, I don't recommend that either. By the way, one of the greatest things to feed livestock with, believe it or not, especially poultry, and a lot of your four-legged friends, is duckweed. Duckweed is an invasive pain in the butt that happens in ponds. And if you do it in a controlled way, it's great because you skim it off. It doubles its volume basically on the daily. And it usually will cover an entire pond, well, very rapidly, depending on how much pond there is. And if you skim it every day and dry it out, the following day, you've got all this food. It's the same thing with the algae growth systems that are existing now. And one of the things that actually can help you with livestock fodder, you don't have to grow fodder specifically, but you can also grow fodder along with it. And you supplement it with, whatever else you need to. For calcium, a lot of people use oyster shell, crushed oyster shell, and things like that. So there's that. Keep it real original says, I have brewed beer and kombucha. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't miss any of that stuff. Norman Borlaug. You're right, Culture. Thank you, Benai Kasai. I appreciate that. Hey, Queen Amazonia is here. Good to see you. Or I always say that wrong. Amazonia. There we go. I don't recommend you eat wheat. No, indeed. I said wheat, yes, with a T. Indeed. You guys are amazing. I love the chat today. You guys are on fire. I'm probably frozen again. I hope everyone is having a good holiday. So do I, Karadwin. I hope you're having a great holiday. I'm having an extraordinary holiday. So there's that. Yeah, look at you guys. Buckwheat. Isn't that one of the Little Rascals? Yeah. And one of the greatest skits created by Eddie Murphy. Buckwheat. Rice was considered a weed in some countries until it became known you can eat it through a process. Yeah. It's actually, by the way, this is the other cool thing. So cooked rice and even wild uncooked rice can be used as a food for the biologics in your soil. You can actually enrich your soil by mixing in cooked rice or rice tea, or you can just throw rice in with your stuff. You'll want to look up exactly how much to how much soil, but believe it or not, it feeds the microbes that are in your soil that keep everything going. And again, I'm going to be advocating for various ways to improve your soil prior to the spring, which is why I got to get the channel started at the first of the year. So the garden channel, like I said, I will be advertising the moment it is there for you. Not to mention bringing back Campione, which I'll be happy to do with the ladies of this channel and other channels as well. So pretty excited about that. So you should have weddings at your camp. I actually will. When we get to Tennessee, that's one of the things I will do. And I'll actually host weddings in one of the greenhouses. I actually thought about that because it's one of the things I think Disney is missing out on with Living with the Land is they have a beautiful place to host weddings in their greenhouse structures. And those domes, let me tell you, they keep that temperature nice year round. So even in the winter, Could you imagine getting your wedding pictures in front of the giant Mickey head, especially if you're a Disney fan? Even if you're not, the greenery around there would be just beautiful. And, especially with some of the slanted NFT systems that they have in place. That stands for nutrient film technique, which is one of the ways that they grow the plants in Disney's greenhouses. I really do prefer NFT or flood and drain systems. I think those are oftentimes the best. You can actually get such a great yield and root density in a flood and drain system that if, let's say, you were growing eggplants, it would literally clog the system so it won't drain. How do I know? From experience, from actually setting up an NFT greenhouse not that long ago, and putting a flood and drain side by side. NFT worked great, especially for heads of lettuce, although rafting method for lettuce works better. If you are looking to grow, let's say, butter lettuce, which is super easy to grow warehouse style, you can certainly you can certainly raft it on construction foam. Believe it or not, just drill holes and put in 2-inch net pots and a little bit of core or similar bedding material. I'm trying to avoid coconut of any kind, coconut husks, or even cocoa shells, which people have been using, gardeners have been using, because it's bad for dogs. Cocoa shell is terrible for dogs, and it works great as a mulch for gardeners. But if the dogs eat it, it's like eating chocolate. It contains all the same toxins and everything else that'll cause the aggressive shutdown and pancreatitis and many other things. So just be careful. Um, da, 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 um, Karen Prime says buckwheat is an invasive pain in the butt as well. Sure, it is. Along with, believe it or not, bamboo. Most species of bamboo is a weed. You just consider it an invasive weed and a pain in the booty. You have to encapsulate it in a container to contain it. And you have to go down a long way because it just will keep propagating via the roots. So does comfrey, by the way. But comfrey is a plant that, well, first of all, you can grow for 20, 25 years, and you actually you use divided roots to have it multiply and grow. You keep it in a confined bed. I'm going to be using elevated beds, and I'm going to use it as a chop and drop fertilizer for my soils. So when we get to Tennessee, one of the things that I'm going to probably do is sell composted soils, and those soils will be like gold. So when I get to Tennessee, I'll let you guys know where we're at, and you can, if you're anywhere close, you can come by and pick up soil. And obviously, I'll have a farm stand against the roadway and everything else. So Frank's here. What's up, Frank? Cindy and I are celebrating our 40th anniversary today. Happy anniversary, Frank. Frank, I hope you are doing well. 40 years. That's amazing. That is amazing. And again, us old people, we have a lot to celebrate as we get older. So there's that. Blood meal. Blood meal works really well. Bone meal works really well. There's a lot of natural techniques and a lot of ways to feed your soil at the same time. So there's that. Caradwin says, I can't grow a lot of vegetation where I live. Short growing season and cool even in summer. Pretty much only root veg I can grow. You'd be surprised. I could probably set you up either an indoor system or a patio system of either soil crops or hydroponics. I believe I could probably get more than you think you could get out of a simple protected system. And sometimes you can do it even with as little as a heating pad, believe it or not. So there's that. Am I frozen again? I don't know. And look at all these great people out there. Mythbusters prove that bamboo could grow through a person. Yikes. How'd they do that experiment? That's nuts. Absolutely insane. $20 tours at Culture Farm. I don't think I'm going to have people pay, but I will have people pay for, if they're trying to rent the venue as like a location to do a wedding shoot, but it'll be nominal. Same thing with the studios. I mean, the whole reason for me to create, not just obviously the greenhouses and stuff for personal survival, and to build the studios. I mean, I want to build sound stages, maybe 17,000 to 25,000 square foot sound stages. And I want those to be cheap for independent creators to rent so they can create, the things they're looking to create. I also want to make it so that it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg. So likely those will be powered with alternate means, like solar and such. That ultimately the funds will just be there to offset the costs of, expanding battery banks and expanding power generation and all of that. So the goal ultimately is to make it so that people can do independent production cheaply, because that's important. Speaking of amazing people, right here at the end of the year on Monday, the 29th, the incredible generosity of Mark Nichols shows up. My friends, 50 Culture Casino memberships. Welcome to all 50 of you who just went green, courtesy of our friend, Mark Nichols. Thank you, Mark. You are phenomenally generous. You guys always do this, and you always get me really close to tears. Sometimes you get tears, but this is extraordinary, my friend. You are generous, probably to a fault, but I appreciate you. I love your picture, and thank you for being here and a part of the channel, my friend. I truly appreciate it. Look at all these names go green, folks. And you got Republica out there, our friend Colehauser. Praise Ara, a real American hero. He's been doing some live streams lately and he's really working hard. I love what Colehauser's doing. Citizen Chad is out there. Look at that. We've got Nightwing. Awesome. Look at all these people that just went green, all courtesy of our friend, Mr. Mark Nichols. Thank you, Mark, very much, my friend. Thank you very, very much. And thank you again to the first Dragon Queen, who weighs in a bit on, I know someone in Tennessee and someone close too. Well, there you go. There you go. I know several people in Tennessee. It's another reason why we're headed there, is because I know people and I want to work with those people. And I want them to have easy access to my location, because it's really important, at least according to me it is. It's raining green on YouTube. It absolutely is, Weatherman. It absolutely is. Weatherman's got to head out, so I hope you're able to shake your headache, my friend, and I hope you're able to have a great day. But to all of you who just became members, quick shout out and thank you to Mark Nichols, please, if you don't mind. And according to Ms. Pitcoff, says, yes, Fitty. It's weird that I don't have some of the thank yous that I used to have. I've got to get those back on here. So, but I just want to say thanks again, Mark. Amazing stuff. Look at all that. DJ Ronnie G says, I misread the title. Is James Earl Jones ending Avatar early? That'd be great, except he passed away. We lost a legend that day. But you have to remember just how much he was, how much he had to overcome as a young man to become the icon that he became. Not to mention the fact that he was in Midnight Express, which meant that old man had to learn how to rollerblade when he was already, in his 40s, I think, or 50s. Crazy stuff. So there's that. Anyway, I know that's an odd fact. I know a lot of odd facts. He was a Broadway artist. So there's that. According to Bruce, he says, I brought bulk prebiotic powder. Look at all that. My goodness. And mix it with blood meal and peat moss in the fall and add probiotics with some pasteurized milk. A lot of people have done stuff like that. I have not added dairy ever. I'm very careful about that when I compost and do stuff like that or work with the soil. But there's that. And Commander Ed Straker of Shadow says, yes, winning photos. It's Cuddle's greenhouse and a wedding chapel. Well, there you go. I actually can marry people. Um, you know, I did. The mic back. Can you hear me? All right, looks good. All right, let's see if we can fix the camera. Looks like the camera's up. All right, am I back? Nope, I am frozen. So let's go ahead and unfreeze. I'll be right back. All right, let's see. Am I back? Yeah, and you can hear me, which is a bueno. I love bueno. I missed a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Culture, you're frozen and muted. Yeah, I fixed it. At least I hope I fixed it. Yeah, it was frozen solid. Yeah, all of a sudden I got a message on my end that says, hey, screw you guys. I was like, okay. Hey, CC's image unfrozen on its own. I tried. And I'm back. I'm front too. Tobak's here. Tobak is always back. Ha ha. Look at you guys. All good for now. Video and audio are here in BC, says Canadian Spider-Man. Excellent. Excellent. And congratulations again to Frank and his lovely bride on 40 years of marriage. On that note, in 20 minutes, we have That Park Place live with all of our friends over at That Park Place, WDW Pro, and many others. So you're going to want to tune in and check it out. Check it out as we enter the new year with some fresh stories, fresh perspective, some fresh voices, and, some people with better voices than me. Anyway, it happens. On that note, I'll say it this way. I appreciate each and every one of you each and every day, Monday through Friday. And of course, when we get thank you for your attention to this matter back and the Mr. H cast every Tuesday and Thursday. Your favorite afternoon, evening podcast returns January 6th on the Mr. H Reviews channel. And we've got more in store for you, including the gardening channel and more. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much. The generosity is extraordinary from all of you out there with your apparently unlimited bucks. 1 hour in, and all I can say is hope you have a great day. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, we'll see you.